So how exactly do you make a comic book? What is the exact process? Well, that is what I'm going to be discussing today in this video coming up. And you may want to stick around till the end of the video to hear this exclusive free offer that I have for you guys. So stay tuned. Welcome to Revelations Comics, a place where the revelations of the comic book industry is revealed to you guys. My name is Chris Ojo, creator and writer of our upcoming comic book series titled The Warlords. So if you're new here, consider subscribing so that you don't miss more great content just like this one. So this 10-step guide is going to lay the foundation for all the how-to videos that I'm going to post every week for the entire year. So you may want to stick around and consider subscribing so that you can get all of my how-to videos that relate to how to create a comic book. Everything I say in this video will be spun off into its own series, and the reason why is because there's simply just not enough time to explain it all in one video. I'm going to be going in depth into each topic throughout the entire year. So without further ado, let's get started on the 10 steps to making a comic book. Starting off with step 1, you must have an idea, otherwise how are you going to make your comic book? You can't start your comic book without an idea. And another thing that I'm going to suggest to you guys is decide whether you want to do self-publishing or publish through an already established publisher such as Image Comics, Dark Horse Comics, etc. because they take in creator-owned comic books. So step 2, before you want to start the outline, before you want to start the comic book writing process, before you want to start anything else, you need to have a team assembled. And the team, the comic book making team, consists of a writer, an artist, a letterer, and an editor. While the artist can be broken down into a subcategory such as a penciler, a colorist, and a cover artist. But if your artist can do all of those in one, then the better, because it's one person, less communication. I suggest that you get a team first before anything else, simply because, for example, if you're a writer and you write the script and you don't have a team afterwards to follow up from that script, then what you're going to do, you're going to spend more time, waste more time assembling a team. Whereas if you had a team already there in place, once the script is done, then you go immediately to the art. Then once the art is done, immediately to the lettering, etc, etc, etc. That's why you must have your team assembled first. Now for step 3, what you want to do is outline your story. Now your story outline must contain the setting, information about each and every character in your story, and finally the plot of your story. So regarding your setting, you must know your world inside out. If someone was to come and ask about your world, your whole world basically, you must know right out the bat what you're going to say. You must know your setting. It's extremely important. So regarding characters, you must list their traits, their personalities, their abilities, if they have any, simply because when you're writing, you want to refer back to that all the time so that you can keep consistency with each and every character. And finally, regarding the plot, you want to write the plot for each and every issue, and you also want to write the plot for the entire story as a whole. And another thing regarding the plot, you need to have a solid structure. For example, a 3-act structure. It doesn't have to be 3 acts because a story can have multiple acts. A story can have more than 3 acts, but usually people tend to use the 3-act structure basically. So let's go with that. Let's go with the 3-act structure. So moving on to step 4. Step 4 is actually the fun part. And the fun part is actually writing the script, writing your actual story. This is certainly my favorite part in the entire process because you're pinning your ideas in paper or you're typing ideas on your computer, wherever you're doing it. But essentially you're getting your ideas down. So once you finish your outline, you want to transfer that into an actual script, and make sure when you're writing your script you have good dialogue. And I'm going to be doing another video later on in the year on how to write good dialogue, so stay tuned to get that video. So step 5 is actually editing the script, and this is the most stressful part, or one of the most stressful parts in the entire process. This is when you give your script to your editor to edit and give you feedback for improvements, etc. And this is the part where the editor actually tears the script to shreds as if he were a physical embodiment of Wolverine's claws. Now now that you've done the outline, the writing, and the editing, now it's the time to hand over your script to the artist. And regarding artists, we have some subcategories, just like I said at the start of the video. We have the penciler, we have the inker, and we have the colorist. Well, from my personal experience, when I was doing the warlords, we had one artist do all three. We didn't have three separate people doing the penciling, the coloring, or the inker, but that's just my experience. Maybe you guys can do differently. Maybe you can have three different people, but from my experience, I would recommend that you just have one person do all three if they can. If they can't, then you, of course, you have to find someone else. But from my experience, pick one, just one person to do everything. So now that we have the art out of the way, the next stage, stage 7 or step 7, is the lettering stage. And this stage is fairly simple. All you have to do, if you're a writer or you're an artist, whoever is in charge of the comic book making process, what you need to do is give your script and give the art pages to the letterer, for the letterer to put the dialogues on the pages. Pretty simple, right? Not really much to that. But regarding the letterers, lettering is not that simple in itself. A lettering is an art in itself. So it's not as simple just copy and paste, because you have to be cautious of where you place the speech bubbles. You don't want to just place the speech bubbles anywhere on the page, because if that was so, then the reader may get confused as to which one to read first, which piece of dialogue he or she should read first. Now, step 8 purely depends on whether or not you want to print out your comics. Now, of course, by me saying that, step 8 is of course printing. Now, let me tell you this, printing, it's not cheap. It's very, very expensive, and it also depends on how many copies you want to print, and it depends on who you're printing with. So for my suggestion, if you are a self-published author, if you're a self-published comic book creator and you want to do printing, then a good way to generate funds is through Kickstarter. And from my personal experience, I would highly recommend you go through the stage, simply because I was successful on Kickstarter, lucky enough, for my comic book series, The Warlords. This was on Kickstarter, and if you want to check it out, I'll leave the link in the description. But yeah, Kickstarter is a good way to generate funds. That is how I managed to fund the project, The Warlords. Now, step 9 is marketing. And really with marketing, you really want to be getting started with this way before you print this comic book, really. But I put it as step 9 because really. But yeah, with marketing, you have to market yourself, you have to market your brand, and this stage, from my experience, is the hardest stage of it all. Marketing is a continuous process. It's not something that you just do once and then forget about. You have to continually do marketing. So like I said, it's the worst part of the process, at least for me, and it's the hardest part of the process for me. So I'm not a fan of it at all, but it has to be done. But regarding with marketing, you need to find the right audience, the right specific audience, and target them aggressively. Whilst you're doing that, you need to add value to your potential customers. If you don't add value to someone, why would they want to purchase something from you? See what I mean? That's why marketing is extremely important. And the 10th and final step in the comic book making process is finally distribution. Now, this is when you finally distribute your comics, whether digital platforms or whether through local stores, etc. But if you want to distribute your comics to local stores, then a good distributor would be Diamond Comics, because they are well known for distributing to local stores. Whereas if you want to do it digitally, then you want to do a digital platform such as Comixology, because they have this thing called Submit. Or another way you want to do it is you want to set up your own website and distribute it through your own website. So now that we've been through the 10 steps to the comic book making process on how to make a comic book, now I'm going to be sharing you guys the exclusive free offer that I have for you today. So remember at the start of the video where I said throughout the entire year, I'm going to be breaking down everything I said in this video into mini series? Well, the offer that I have for you today is that you can download my free guide that explains in detail everything that I said in this video. So if you don't want to wait, throughout the entire year to know a specific thing, download the free guide in the description down below. It explains everything that I said in this video in so much more detail. But anyway, that is my how to make a comic book video. Let me know in the comments if you got anything out of this today. So share this video with your friends, like this video, and subscribe to my channel if you're new. And I'll see you guys later for more videos.